Hello, good morning. This is Sharon from the House of Prayer, and I'm here to discuss that I'm still standing firm on what God said, and by all indications of what Biden is doing, and I can't even bring myself to call him a president, but what he's doing is destroying America. And I don't believe that that's going to continue to happen. I know that too many Christians have gone to God pleading for America. And you also know that I really trust Veronica West, where she put out this yesterday entitled The Rose Garden Dream. Yesterday was January 24th, 2021. During a time of prayer today, the Holy Spirit took me back to the Rose Garden Dream that I shared a few months ago. There he showed me a few things that I believe may speak to what is now unfolding. Let us take heart. God's ways are not our ways, and his timing is perfect in all things. Here goes, and quote, number 1, fear not, for weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Now as I stayed watching and listening from the gates of the rose garden, suddenly my eyes were drawn to the many bushes, the rose bushes in the garden, and I noticed that there were no flowers on the stems. From where I was standing, I could see that all the rose bushes had in fact been cut to the ground, and that it looked like the garden was experiencing and looked like a harsh winter season. Number 2, now somewhat perplexed by all I was seeing from the garden gate in the dream, suddenly I heard a familiar tune or sound, and the words of the old song went through my mind. I beg your pardon, I never promised you a rose garden. Along with the sunshine, there's got to be a little rain sometime. Number 3, then I heard Jesus say these words to President Trump. Fear not, for weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. I am the rose of Sharon and the lily of the valleys. Watch, for the time of blooming has come. All those words seemed to echo loudly through the rose garden. Suddenly I felt a warm, gentle breeze begin to blow upon the garden, and I heard these words, watch, the winds of change are now blowing forth upon the rose garden. As those words filled the atmosphere in the dream, suddenly I saw the rose bushes in the garden that had been cut down to the ground begin to burst forth with new life. Beautiful bright green leaves and red roses suddenly appeared on the stems of the bushes. As I watched and felt the gentle breeze blowing forth across the rose garden, I saw Jesus and President Trump walking away from the weeping willow trees and walked side by side through the garden. And then they stopped and stood together under the tall white archway called Triumph. Then I heard Jesus say the words, I am the rose of Sharon and the lily of the valleys. Watch, for the time blooming has come. And then she wrote a postscript down here. While looking and praying again over this dream, Father is instructing my heart to be still and know that he is God. For all the seasons are his, and he knows all things, even before they have taken place. I hear him remind us that we only see the front of the parade, but he sees the beginning from the end and the end from the beginning. So warriors, be of good courage, for the battle belongs to the Lord. Please also know HKP word, dream of President Trump in the Rose Garden. Extract follows a poignant dream containing President Trump. I am going to meet him in the Rose Garden. So last night I had a strange but powerful dream I want to share. It was a short dream, but I felt it was highly significant in this timing. And she called it a love so pure and so divine. In this dream, I found myself walking beside Jesus. Now I could not see his face, but I could tangibly feel his deep love and passion for me as I walked beside him. He was going somewhere, and I was following him. And as we walked together in this dream, I kept feeling wave after wave of his love washing over me, like the never-ending waves of the sea that crash upon the seashore. The longer I seemed to walk beside him, the greater the intensity of his love I experienced. It was a love that was not of this world. It was a love that was so pure and divine, a love that so fully and so completely captivated my heart, my soul, and my mind. It was a love that I had never felt experienced before. I'm going to meet him in the Rose Garden. As we continued to walk together in the dream, suddenly I said to Jesus, "Where are we going?" Jesus immediately answered me, saying, "I am going to meet him in the Rose Garden." As he said those words to me, I knew by revelation he was going to see President Trump. And no sooner had Jesus spoken these words to me, a beautiful, tall, wide archway and a gate appeared before us. As I looked up at the archway, suddenly I heard these words, "The Archway of Triumph." Then I watched as Jesus walked under the archway and as he entered through the gate and walked into what looked like a rose garden. Now, strangely, in the dream, I did not follow Jesus into the rose garden, as I felt that in that moment within the dream, that this was a sacred and intimate meeting between Jesus and President Trump. And while I knew I was permitted to enter through the gate and into the rose garden, I knew that I was there in the dream to watch and listen to all that was about to take place. Fear not, for weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Now as I stay watching and listening from the gate of the rose garden, suddenly my eyes were drawn to many roses in the garden. I noticed there were no flowers on the stems. From where I was standing, I could see all the rose bushes had been cut to the ground, and then it looked like the garden was experiencing I've already read all that. She just rewrote it. So, yeah, this is Veronica West. I truly, truly do believe her. So, have a good day, guys. I'm feeling kind of weak today, and I doubt if I put up another video, but if the Lord leads me, I will. So have a great, great day. I love you.